Hi everybody, it is Julie. Welcome back to Pages and Pens. Today I am here with the beginning of my vlogging of my first ever experience with Nevernight by J. Kristoff. Let's get into it. First of all, yes, I have never read Nevernight by J. Kristoff. This is the gorgeous UK hardback that Chelsea gifted me because she wasn't reading it. And it doesn't even have anything on the spine. Like, there's no Nevernight or J. Kristoff or their publishing, nothing. Just this amazing embossed crow, and I live for it. I hope I don't get like greasy fingerprints or like any smudges on this thing because I'm in love. I wanted to go ahead and talk about this because I have this on my August TBR, and then I was talking to a couple friends and somebody mentioned that they had this, and we ended up deciding to do a buddy read. So I'm actually going to be buddy reading this with Rosie from Red Door Reader, who has not read this before. And then in our writing group, Amber from Amber's Books and More and Allie, Diagon Allie, they have both read it before, but they said that they would be down for a reread, and we decided to buddy read it together. Allie broke down the pages because she kind of knows a little bit about the story and where would be good places to start and stop. And I'm going along for the ride on this. So we decided to bring it to Twitter and let everybody join us. And the more that I started talking about it on social media and on Instagram and Instagram stories, the more everybody kept asking for me to keep them up to date. Please let me know what you thought of it. Please don't hesitate to like spam my DM or spam my inbox or text me and let me know what you think of it. Everybody was so enthralled with the fact that I was reading this finally and gonna give it a go. Put up a poll on Instagram and asked you guys if you wanted me to daily vlog my reading experience or just vlog my reading of Nevernight so that you guys could come along the ride as I experience it for the first time. And the resounding answer was yes, you wanted a vlog dedicated to just me reading this book. So that's what I'm going to give you. That's what's starting today. Today is the 7th. We are not starting until the 9th, which we decided would be a really appropriate time to start reading this because on August 9th of 2016, this book actually published. And so 2 years later, we're going to honor that publication date by starting our buddy read of it. And I'm really excited, but I'm really nervous. I talked about this in my TBR video, but I've tried to read this book twice already. Once in physical form and once in audiobook form. And I put it down both times and was not interested. I've had a ton of people tell me I need to get through like the first 100 pages before I really get invested. And I think a buddy read is going to be the perfect way for me to do that. My thoughts prior to reading, I want to love this as much as everybody else, but I'm afraid I won't. And the hype is so real, and the people that love this love it so much. And I have a feeling I will too, but there is this small part of me that's a little bit nervous that the first couple times I put it down just has me like hesitant. Here's to giving it its best possible shot. I really do think that a buddy read will be the best motivating factor for me, and reading it with a whole bunch of other people for the first time or rereading it with people who might be able to give me a little bit more insight into the story if I'm confused about something is the best possible way for me to read this. And I love that so many of you are joining. I've had so many Instagram and Twitter messages with people that are excited to be reading this with us. I'm looking forward to seeing what I finally think about it. It's kind of torture to wait 2 more days before I start it, but at the same time, that's okay. It allows me to wrap up some of the books that I'm already currently in the middle of before this one starts. I will be annotating as I read this. And then I also have my tabs because I will be using the red tabs for this book as I come across little thoughts or comments that I want to mark up. These are from the dollar store and I love them, and there's like 200 tabs for $1 and they're amazing. My bookmark for the read is a really cool one from Creative Chaotix. That is a Holly Black quote. It says, "There's safety in being awful." It's a Cruel Prince quote. It's a long intro, but this is my intro to say, here we go. We're gonna read Nevernight, and the next time I check in, I'll be sitting down to start day 1's reading. Hi guys, it is 11 o'clock at night on August 8th, which means I'm an hour away from the official start of the buddy read for Nevernight, and I'm gonna start a little bit early because I have zero chill. I have a highlighter, I have a pen, I've got my tabs, I've got the book, and I'm gonna go ahead and give it a go. I'm gonna go into it knowing it might not be like a right out of the gate love, and just hope that everybody along with the buddy read is able to stick with me and stick it out. So I've got to get to page 60 before the end of the day tomorrow. I'm probably not going to vlog again tonight. This isn't cute. I've already got my face oil on and I'm all shiny, but I will touch base in the morning, let you know what I think of the first couple pages of reading, and then finish up the last part of the 60 pages because I'm not reading all 60 tonight. I'll check back. I am back with my first update for my read of Nevernight. And last night I started around 11 o'clock and I think I stayed up until about 1:15 and I finished all 60 pages of today's reading. I have some thoughts because I've already finished day one's reading and it's only 11 o'clock on day one. Decent amount of tabs in there, and I did decide that I was going to use a highlighter as well. So we start off and the preface is, first of all, amazing. And you know right off the bat that the narrator is not going to be our main character, Mia, whose name we don't even find out until like a little way through the first day's reading. I think like a flashback to when she was 10, you finally get her name. The narrator is still up in the air. We don't know who the narrator is. Also really liked the first, like, I think is it the first whole chapter or the first couple chapters where we get a back and forth. We get a past and a present, like loose past and present. We get an experience with her first sexual encounter as well as her first murder. We go back and forth between the two experiences and they almost mirror each other in language, which is so interesting. And I think that's a part of what made the first reading for the readathon, that didn't work for me. It was just like too confusing. And B, the audiobook was just like not done well to delineate between those two things. Reading it a second time around, I think it's a brilliant writing choice. I actually really liked the way that it was done. I thought it was a really cool way to look at this really vulnerable situation that she put her in versus this really powerful situation that she put herself in. And then even the sexual experience was really powerful. She paid him to get her first time kind of like over with, not over with, but kind of over with, just so she would know what it felt like in case she died that night, which is the night that she goes to kill this hangman that killed her father. Also, shadow cat. I want a shadow cat. I want one real bad. I'm in love with it. I'm wondering if, at least right now, this shadow is something that's kind of been following her since her mom was taken. I'm wondering if it only took the shape of a cat because her cat was murdered by that douchebag. Like the shadow knew it would be comforting for her. Regardless, shadow cat is a win. I really like shadow cat. She has a conversation with the escort. She also has a conversation with a boy that's also trying to go to this school for assassins. It's incredibly feminist where she's talking about how like, why do you think that I shouldn't have paid you for my first time? Do you think that I gave away a part of myself that leaves me broken? Or kind of taking control of her sexuality and her virginity and being like, it's not that fucking precious, which it isn't. I have the whole damn section like highlighted and annotated, and it's right where we left off for the day. So essentially at this point she was like, why is cunt such a horrible word but cock isn't? And she goes on to say like, cunts have teeth. Someone calls you a cunt, you take that as a compliment. There's no difference between your nethers and mine, but one doesn't carry any more weight than the other. Why should it be seen that what's between my legs is considered any smarter or stupider or any worse or any better? It's all just meat. But I'd rather be called a cunt than a cock any turn. And just like that, young Trick was in love. I love her so much already. There's a scene where dad's being hanged. The narrator says you would think at this point that the mom is holding her, you know, her face into the skirts and trying to hide her from the cruelty that she's about to see, but you'd be wrong. She actually held her, forcing her to watch as her father was hanged. I love that look at like her mom also being a badass and pulling a knife on the guys that come for her, and it's super, super heavy, like feminist badass vibes right now, and I'm digging it. I'm also digging the fact that it's coming from Jay Kristoff, who I already thought was like a super decent human being, but that makes me love him even more. Also, when you start off and like page 7, you're also having her tell some guy to fuck her. I'm like, this is a ride. Like, we're in for it. I knew it was an adult series going into it. I knew it wasn't YA. I knew it was gonna have a different tone. It was gonna have blood and sex. I wasn't expecting such a strong start, but I'm here for it. Going to try to get my word count in, and then I know I'm gonna start tomorrow's reading early because I just have no chill on it. I feel really, really hopeful. I was really nervous going in, but I feel really, really hopeful today, so I feel good about it. I have some tabs. I have some thoughts. Oh my goodness. So if day 1 was the day for like feminist vibes and just falling in love with Mia and a shadow cat and the whole world and getting the feel for it, this day is like the day for full-blown all-out laughter. Like considerable amounts of hilarity. It is so funny because the rest of the red tabs in this are really for super quotable, gorgeous writing. This writing is stunning. I will also say that for the most part, I am skim reading footnotes. Some of them are really hilarious and tongue-in-cheek and sarcastic, and those are awesome. Some of them are also about like backstory and world building and like the folklore of this world, and I don't really have any interest in that. It is really taking me out of the story and out of the enjoyment of continuing with the plot. Some of these feminist vibes are really ridiculous. Mom said, your mind will serve you better than any trinket under the sun, and like any weapon, you need to practice to be any good at wielding it. Beauty you're born with, but brains you earn. So some of the funny moments, I shit you not, I laughed so hard. This skinny streak of shit had a knife to my throat, which cracked me up. One of the wagon man was hitting it like it had insulted his mother. Hilarious. Fuck off, said the man, and take your trouble with you when you off with the fuck. That is amazeballs. We also get introduced to a character when they finally get to the school for assassins, and her name is Ashlyn. Ash for short, which is my main character's name, which I loved. I also love that this school is dedicated to this goddess of death and darkness and night, and that it's not a male-dominated field, that there's all these strong and powerful women at this school. Also, there's this really cool quote that says, a traitor is just a patriot on the wrong side of winning. Forget the girl who had everything. She died when your father died. Nothing is where you start. Own nothing, know nothing, be nothing. Why would I want to do that? Because then you can do anything. We're learning that there's only like 4 that are going to actually become the assassins. The rest are probably going to just become helpers or hands. So I'm really interested to see how this goes and to see the way that this all pans out. I'm loving it so far. I'm really excited to continue. I will probably start day 3's reading. It's only 1:45 on day 2. I'll probably start day 3's reading pretty soon because I just want more and more and more. I don't want to stop. I had a couple people in Twitter threads or DMs or just in general when we were talking about the book say how impressed they were that Jay Kristoff was able to write such an empowered and feminist woman as a man. And I like shot out this tweet right here, to which Jay responded and then also added a thread of his own that I think is worth seeing. So I will link that thread down below. Being a man or being a woman does not mean that you cannot understand or write the opposite gender. It is ridiculous to think that a man can't understand or appreciate the complexities of a woman and write a woman well. I had a serious moment of panic with the fact that I sent a tweet to Jay Kristoff using the word cock, but he liked it apparently, and it sparked a really good discussion. Deeply impressed by the way that he is writing Mia. I love that he chose to make her a woman. I think that's the best part of this, is that he's giving us that feminist hero or anti-hero that we deserve to see, that strong female lead that we deserve to see. And that, to me, it says more than anything else. I never doubt a man's ability to write a woman, although sadly sometimes that doesn't go over very well and it's not well done. Jay Kristoff does it so well. Today's the 10th. I'm reading ahead and I'm on 140. All the shit is going down. It's not a pleasant place. One of them already being murdered, the one that messed with Trick. I love it because Ash is like, they said it's a school, like everybody here is a murderer. They expect us to act as such. Maybe someone just took it literally. But this is also after Mia's arm was chopped the fuck off. So apparently one of the teachers does not appreciate being bested in a sword fight and chops her arm off. It's mended by Lord of Blood that I think I showed you guys earlier. It's terrifying. Dude is ripped, but also, what the hell? He's described as being like tall and handsome, but like in the most terrifying way. Bloodless and albino and white hair and pink eyes. He sounds terrifying. Like, and he is a blood worker. Like, he works with blood magic, drinks blood to survive. So he's a vampire, essentially, is what we're getting at. His sister is a flesh worker, so she can like mend the flesh, which is how her arm is put back on. The brother licks blood off of his sister's mouth, calling her like my sister, my love. I don't like it. But Cassius can get it. He sounds super dreamy. This vampire dude sounds terrifying. A whole entire world of just killers and murderers and scary people. None of them scare me as much as this like albino vampire guy. We did just get Mia, who realizes now that one, Ash totally just invited her out to make sure that she knew, to find out for real if she was a Darkin, if she like talks to shadows and darkness. Then we found out that Cassius is also a Darkin with this giant wolf, as opposed to like Mr. Kindly. He's got this giant wolf named Eclipse, who is female by nature. Even like the opportunities for them to actually be kids and do these kinds of like competitions, which feel very much like the Dauntless games and stuff, where they do like the paintball missions and stuff. It feels very much like that, but with like amped up stakes. At least right now they feel pretty amped up. Dude, ouch. Her teacher just burned her so hard. She said, you were born without that which people often prize their lovers for, that ridiculous prize called beauty. You already understand what it is to want, my love, and soon enough you'll understand how much power instilling that want in others can bring. She was like, you're hideous, and you know what it's like to want. So now you can do that to others. Like, dude, I've seen fan art. This girl's not ugly. That's brutal. All right, it's been like a minute. I don't know why I turned off this camera, and all I did was turn the page, and they're like, if you're gonna sit there telling me I need to learn to love myself before others can love me, I think I might spew this oh so fine whiskey all over your pretty red rug. And she was like, oh no, I don't care about that, but you must master the face you see in the mirror on the morrow. And she's like, what happens this eve? She's like, we give you a new one, of course. They're just gonna give her a new face? So apparently all that fan art I've been seeing is not actually what Mia looks like. Like, I don't know what she looks like pre-magical makeover, but they're gonna give her a new face? What the ever-loving fuck all. Good God, guys. So I got to the point where they have to go be sucked down into a vortex of blood, birthed out of another vortex of blood, bathed, and then go seduce secrets out of people, which is basically just an excuse for my gorgeous, gorgeous Darius. I still don't know how I feel about him, but I feel like I could be pro him for him to just torture the shit out of her. Like, essentially waterboard her and just beat the shit out of her and just wait and hope she doesn't break, which she didn't. Apparently that's the way that works. And then she tries to talk to him about the whole shadow wolf thing, and he's like, you're on your own. I'm not gonna help you. And also, don't think that this makes me like you. She's like, noted. I read all of day 3 and I read into day 4. We're still on day 2. Everybody on Twitter is like cracking up because they're like, yeah, no, we anticipated that you were going to read ahead. You always read ahead. That's like the best part of the buddy reads is when you always read ahead. I'm like, I can't help myself. Jay Kristoff is a much better writer than Sarah J. Maas. Come at me. He just is. Feels very much like the Assassin's Blade novellas where Selena is meeting friends and she's being trained to be this assassin. She's meeting all these friends and then they like start turning on her. And you think like, oh, she's finally got like a friend or she finally has a love interest, and then shit keeps happening to them. So I'm just like waiting for shit to hit the fan. Not all these people she's meeting are gonna make it out alive, and not all these people that she's meeting are gonna end up being good to her. I'm currently on page 260 and we only have 3 days left of the reading. Let's see, since the last time I saw you, Trick did come back. People keep dying. So they are losing people each time they have challenges or classes or stuff like that. They've been going through this beautification process. They've been remending their faces to make them more alluring for the subtle arts of seduction when it comes to murder. I think the only person at this point who has not undergone the procedure is Trick. We have like the flaying open of one of the children, Hush, for being out after hours, literally just ripped him completely apart, and then those freaky fucking twins mend him back together, put his bones back together, his blood back into his body. It's weird as shit. Mia tries to talk to him and is like, hey, if you ever need to talk, I know you don't talk, but if you ever need to like write shit down and talk to me, I'm here. He slams the door in her face. I don't understand him. He's always kind of lurking in the shadows, but I think I like him. I have no idea if that's going to change or not, but I'm intrigued by him at the very least. Just so Jess can fucking take a beating. Sun necklace and scared the shit out of Mia. Darken can't handle that like blessed item. Mr. Kindly runs off, and then Mia's never really had to live in this world without Mr. Kindly. She takes off for the most dangerous people at the school for assassins, and Trick's like, I thought we just ran into those people. And she was like, no, it's the librarians, which is hilarious and amazing. So then they go down into the library, find the scariest fucking things in the world, which are apparently actual bookworms, which are just monsters that live down there that mess with you if you touch the books when you're not supposed to. But they do strike up an agreement that if there's any books down there on the darken that the librarians see, that they'll let her know. Hopefully she finds out a little bit more about herself, because she's really kind of confused about everything, and she is living in fear, because Mr. Kindly really does eat her fear and grow strong from her fear, and man, did he latch onto a good one, because she has horrible nightmares without him. She's like, I'm not gonna make it through the night by myself. I don't want to be alone. So she goes to Trick, and holy shit, can Mr. J. Kristoff write smut. Good goddamn. Here's what the book looks like right now with all the tabs and whatnot. Pissed off as shit because they are given the opportunity to go to this masquerade ball and enjoy themselves for the night. We should have known that it wasn't going to be that easy. But then they legitimately ambush these kids and are like, if you can make it back, you can make it back. They barely make it back. Pretty sure one kid does die. I trust nobody, and everything makes me nervous. At one point, Mr. Kindly is talking about the pity that she takes on that Hush kid to try to talk to him, and he's like, you shouldn't have done that. There's no point. And she said, this church is designed to turn me cold. Holding on to the part of me that feels pity becomes more and more important every turn. He said, pity is a weakness to be used against you. And she said, one more reason to hold on to it then. Like one of the famous lines from this book, especially for book lovers, which like, aren't we all? You've got a look of a girl who's no stranger to the page. I can tell you've got words in your soul. The books we love, they love us back. And just as we mark our places in the page, those pages leave their marks on us. I can see it in you, sure as I see it in me. You're a daughter of words, a girl with a story to tell. Which is just an amazing quote, and I love it. That's where I'm at. I am caught up on today's reading. I'm actually not ahead on reading. I know a good number of people who have read ahead, a couple of people that have fallen behind. But the hashtag is like well and alive, guys. It's doing so great and I'm so happy about it. And I think that we're also getting flashbacks to her trying to go save her mom from that labyrinth thing that they get lost in. I'm on 298. Got like 20 pages left of today's reading, and then that brings us to book 3, like the portion of the book that's book 3. What is happening right now? Lottie was just murdered. Mia is being framed for it, and her only cover is the fact that she was with Trick that night. Like Trick was in her room with her. Mr. Kindly basically telling the Reverend Mother that like somebody was with her all night, and Mia's like angry that he's gonna tell that she was with Trick, and he's like, it was me, I'm always with her. Mr. Kindly is not a fan of Trick, doesn't really like that he's kind of there at night, especially because when he stays overnight, she's not having bad dreams, like she's happy with him. She does say though that she does not love him, and that love has no place in her world. Girl is just getting her rocks off, and I support that wholeheartedly. Also, we have another situation where they're just trying to kill all these children, where they like poisonous gas leaking into their bedrooms, and they're like, locked the doors, and they're like, find your way out. Can't find your way out, you don't belong here. I'm loving Trick's backstory. I love the fact that he discussed with her how he got his face tattoos, how he got all of his scars, why he doesn't want them gone, which he did finally go for the mending. He did finally go for like the beautification process. He comes to her that night afterwards. There's such a softness there for him, and he does have this really compelling, really heartbreaking backstory. Not that all these kids don't, but we're starting to really see this side of Trick. Cinnamon roll-ish, even for a murderer. He's just so precious, and Mia is so happy with him. You know that formulaically, like, some shit's gonna go down and he's gonna die. Like, this is the part where he dies, no matter what. It's too good to last. This is like the stuff that comes right before people die. I'm back. I feel like I don't understand what I just read. So first of all, Trick finally confesses that he was with Mia, so she couldn't have possibly killed the girl. She was going to be whipped. And Trick confesses because she was also going to be kicked out of the competition that would have afforded her the ability to become a blade, and she would have just had to become a hand or been kicked out completely. So Trick confesses, and then they end up giving him like 100 lashes. Mia knows that he's not going to make it through that. So she says, you know, it was my fault. I asked him to come to my room. I'm partially to blame. Let me share the punishment. So they both get 50. And she tells Mr. Kindly to go to him and remove his fear because he can't stand being blindfolded, and they blindfold him and stuff for the punishment. So into this like fugue state while she's being whipped, where she has these flashbacks of going into the Philosopher's Stone to find her mom and her brother. And she finds her mom, but her mom says that her brother's dead, and then her mom freaks out because she's a Darkin, and then she goes on this like rampage and just starts killing people, like making her way through the town, killing all these soldiers, basically just like tossing bodies. And she's essentially skipping from place to place in these shadows. Like she goes into one shadow and comes out another, and like becomes a part of the darkness. Feel like I'm missing something, like something crucial is happening in this flashback, because they essentially, the way that they stop her is they have one of those like necklaces, like something blessed and holy, and it blinds her. It's too bright. And she's like, it was too bright, it was so bright. And he said, fear not. The brighter the light, the deeper the shadow. Pretty good analogy for organized religion in general, but we're not going to get into that conversation. Anyway, that was the end of book 2. So now I'm at book 3, which is chapter 28, and I am going to continue. But I feel like that was a really pivotal flashback, because we've kind of been building up to the fact that we know she did try to go get her mom out of this place. And I feel like I missed something. Like I feel like something didn't connect, but we'll see. Like when I read the rest of this, we'll see how the rest continues. But they just had like a really seriously cute moment where they like stand up for one another and hold each other's hands through their whipping and call each other fucking idiots for taking the blame. I still don't feel very confident that he's going to make it out of this safely, so We'll see. I just got to the part where they are starting their finals, and there's a final for like the poison class and the sword class. Mia is able to win the sword fight against Jessamine by basically killing her like BFF slash boyfriend slash I don't know what that dude was. Poisons him by giving him the wrong notes for the poison class final, and then leaves the notes in her bedroom to go and have sex with Trick, knowing full well that they're trying to get her out of the room, and left notes that were misleading so that it kills the dude, distracts Jess during their final for the sword fight, and she like stabs her through the gut. Way to think ahead, Kaz Brekker style. Damn, girl. Alright, I'm gonna get back to reading. It is always the quiet ones. Hush gives her the notes for the potion, which she then successfully brews Snape style, and passes that class and gets the like nod from that particular teacher, so she'll make it through to the Blades, and Trick makes it through to the Blades. I'm sure Hush will find a way to get through. Nothing but trouble, that one. But again, like a really interesting character. A little bit horrifying that he was kept as a pleasure slave and has no teeth. All I'm saying. That was wrong. But still, yikes. Pip dies, the one that talks to his knife all the time. He went down to try to steal one of the books from the library for like all of, what, 6 points I think, in that like thieving class. Is eaten by one of the bookworms, because you don't fuck with the books. I love the footnote, because I have been like skimming the footnotes. The particular footnote for that one said like nobody knows what happened to his knife, which is kind of funny. I'm on 354. I could very, very possibly finish this tonight. Maybe, probably gonna happen. I'm so pissed off. I just got to the part where Mia leaves because she won't kill the innocent child, and Ash kills Trick and confesses with her brother, basically on the page confesses with her brother that they killed the other boy that Trick threatened, and then also killed Lottie because she crafted a poison for them, and they're going to poison the feast at the initiation. I already said it earlier in the vlog. I knew Trick didn't have long given his story and his connection with Mia. But damn, girl. It's so hard for me sometimes to separate like the Ash in this story and the Ash in my story and in my head. But this is messed up shit. Like, I'm really legitimately like angry at characters, and I shouldn't be with this group of kids. Like, I should know that this kind of shit is coming. Hi guys, I am here late night. It is 12:30 and I am done Nevernight. I read all the way through. The last time that I checked with you, I think that we found out that Ash and her brother had betrayed Mia and betrayed the rest of the academy or the school or whatever the hell it's called. And then they decided to bring the like armies through, wipe out the rest of the school. They ended up taking Cassius and all the other instructors, and Mia goes through and saves people. She killed a whole bunch of the people that came through, teams up with her classmates, even Jessa. They go and get the instructors and the teachers back. Amazing moment with Cassius, where Mia is trying to get him to say a little bit more about what they are and who they are. And he calls her his little sister, but like in this weird way where like their connection has always been somewhat sexual. And they talk about being drawn to one another, like drawn to one another the way the lovers are, like a puzzle piece that's been missing. But then he called her sister, so like, I don't know what that situation is. But yeah, Cassius dies, which I'm not okay with because he was by far my fave. But his shadow wolf is now Mia's. So Mia has eclipsed the shadow wolf, Mr. Kindly, the shadow cat. Their banter back and forth is hilarious. The librarian actually does bring a book for her, and it basically talks about the Darkins and this woman who said that she was finding other people like her and then eating them and consuming them, and the many becoming one, and that it'll happen again. I don't know what that is, but so far Mia's already accumulated a second darkened shadow animal. It doesn't look promising. There was like a cute little tribute to Trick at the end, because everybody that dies in the service of the mother goes into like an unmarked grave, and they're not remembered by name, but she carves his name into it. And then she goes and kills his father and is like, fuck you, I'm fulfilling a promise to a friend. Well, she says to somebody I cared about. And if you see him in the afterlife, let him know I miss him. And I teared up a little bit. Like, I didn't cry. I teared up a little bit. I think she poisons him and she's like, you're gonna die screaming. It's gonna take days. It's gonna suck real hard. There's nothing you can do about it. As you can see, I had a lot of thoughts and a lot of annotating. I wrote a little bit in this, but not that much. I actually did like more highlighting. There's one orange one in here and I don't know what that's for. So hold on one second. Let me go back to it. There's like a typo in my book. I don't understand. It says like good 0 end. My battery's gonna die. I wanted to give you my direct thoughts as soon as I finished it. A 5-star read. I loved it. It's dark, it's brutal, it's adult. It's got younger characters, so I think a lot of people think it's YA, but it's most definitely adult. The sex scenes were amazing. The fights were amazing. The magic, like every part of this, I really was intrigued by. I liked the writing style a whole bunch. The beginning was a little bit hard to get into. I think that's what really took me out of it the first 2 times I tried. The audiobook was crap. And the first time I tried doing a readathon was just not the correct time. The buddy read has been phenomenal. It's really, really helped me get invested. Talking to everybody with the hashtag has been absolutely fantastic. I finished this, what, 2 days early? Because I couldn't stop. I didn't want to stop. It really is gorgeous. And the writing is so beautiful. I'm so invested in this world and in this character. Like, just her as a person. I don't care what she does. I'm just so invested in her. And I'm really, really excited to continue with Godsgrave. We are going to do a Godsgrave read-along as well. So if you've already read it, feel free to reread it with us. If you've never read it, feel free to continue. I believe we're going to do it as early as possible in September because I would like to get it done before the Contemporary-a-thon, which is September 17th to the 23rd. So this will be an early September read. And I can't wait to continue to talk to you guys as we continue through the series. I know we've got to wait now for Dark Dawn until September of 2019, so we're going to have a year between Godsgrave and then the next book coming out. I'm so excited to be a part of this fan group now, and I'm so excited to, as much as it's going to suck, to wait that year with you guys and talk to you guys. And I'm really, really excited to dive deeper into this world and this character. I'm really excited to talk to everybody, but it is a 5 out of 5. I'm so glad I picked it up a 3rd time and didn't give up on this book. But I think that's going to do it for this vlog. Thanks for coming along for my first reading of Nevernight by J. Kristoff. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give me a big thumbs up, click subscribe. Let me know down below if you like this, if you want to see a vlog for Godsgrave, if you want to see my first reaction as I read and explore this series, which a lot of people have already read. It was really interesting for me, and I really enjoyed it to vlog a first time reading as opposed to a reread or a throwback. So this was really fun. So if you want to see a Godsgrave vlog, let me know down below, and I'll see all of you in the next one. Bye, guys.